Welcome everyone to the Rescroll Manhwa channel. If you enjoy it, please give a like, share, and don't forget to hit the notification bell to catch the latest chapters as soon as possible. Professor Khalid turned and left with a farewell. See you later, he muttered as he drank. I won't say much, but that guy is one crazy fella. Tanya shouted angrily. Ed, are you okay? Are you badly hurt anywhere? I'm definitely going to file a complaint with the academy. I'll see this matter through to the end. Dale turned to look at the male lead and added his voice. It really had almost become a big problem. Still can't melt the ice on his feet? No, not even a little. It's not that it can't be melted. He's deliberately not melting it. He dug in to resist slipping and concentrated on a red-colored mana. It wasn't fire magic, but a much more refined spell. Surely he's accumulating fine-tuned mana to cast a high-level spell. If I don't stop it and let the duel continue, what will the outcome be? Thinking that made Dale's face darken. He looked at Ed and called out, Ed Rothtailor. He raised his arm with a friendly smile. Seems I was worrying over nothing. The male lead quickly replied, No, senior, getting a good practical score is enough. Besides that, it doesn't mean much. I've heard a lot about you, but this is my first chance to meet. At this rate, the top spot in the cohort might really change hands, he answered modestly. Hard to say. As you know, Yinika's top student isn't an easy rival. Dale turned away with a satisfied smile. Is that so? Aha! Seeing these juniors rise one after another, I'm starting to feel my chair wobble. Ed sighed tiredly to himself. The exam's over. Now we just wait for the results to be announced. A few days later at Khalid's office. Hello, Professor. He stumbled in drunk, papers in hand. Who are you again? All right. Trainee, student Anise Halon. I hear you're even quicker than some assistant professors. He stepped forward and handed Anise a stack of papers, leaving her flustered. What is this? Put the grade sheet on the notice board. It's the top 20 list for each cohort this semester, right? I'll arrange and post it right away. Anise slowly opened the grade sheet with worry. My practicals were a bit weak, but I'm confident in theory. Last time it was so close. This time, before she could check, Khalid's voice dashed all of Anise's dreams of making the top list. Your name isn't on it. She turned to him with a disappointed face, but Khalid didn't seem to care much. Staring at me like that won't change anything. After all, the detailed grade sheets are only for students and professors to see. Publicly, they only show the highest subject, the lowest subject, and the top 20 rankings, including the valedictorian. I heard the valedictorian seat at Sylvania usually favors combat skills, so it rarely changes hands. This year will certainly be outside the notice board. Students were gathered to check their results. What? Are you kidding me? Freshman rankings. 1. Wade Calamori. 2. Joseph White-Peltz, vice top. 3. Dennis Veniams. 4. Claude Belarus. 5. Tanya Rothtailor. Sophomore rankings. 1. Lucy Mayriel. 2. Lortel Kalin. 3. Clevius Nortondale for Zix Effelstein. 5. Taylor McClure. Murmurs rose non-stop as people looked at the junior year rankings. Really? Honestly, I think it's well-deserved. He really worked that hard. Year 1 rankings. Ed Rothtailor valedictorian. 2. Janice Failover. 3. Drake Lakers. 4. Atalanta. 5. Sirius Samelin. You thought that slaving away would automatically earn you valedictorian? Huh? The male lead breathed a sigh of relief, feeling like he'd lost a full year and 7 months. Some might say it's unbelievable to achieve such results in such a short time. Some would say that enduring that long and persevering is impressive. In truth, long or short, the process matters less than the result. Ed became the valedictorian of the entire third-year cohort. Now, instead of struggling to earn money for next term's tuition, he could spend more time preparing for the dangers ahead. In short, his survival odds had increased significantly. My emotions should have been relief at having survived. But what is this feeling welling up inside me? Suddenly a voice from beside him woke Ed up. Yinika ran over, beaming with excitement. You're the valedictorian now. Wow, I dropped a second at last. So Ed really did win, huh? But the male lead's face stayed dark. He wasn't happy at all. Yinika. He grabbed Yinika's hand and pulled her along. Huh? What's going on? I have something to say. Let's find somewhere private first. They went to a secluded spot. Yinika asked, worried and confused. Ed, what's wrong? He turned to her and spoke slowly. Ed Roth Taylor, Elemental Studies, 95 points. Yinika Faylover, Sylvan Studies, 30 points. Did you purposely mess up the theory test? You gave me the valedictorian seat on purpose, didn't you? Yinika backed away in panic, stammering. Was it that obvious? No, it's not that. Because I was disciplined last time, even if I ranked first, I wouldn't receive the scholarship. I already moved out of the dorm, and Ed's achievements are more than deserving to take that position. I think Ed being the third-year valedictorian is reasonable. Despite feeling awful, he let out a calm breath. All right, thank you. It's all because of you. Yinika, I won't forget this. No, not at all. Ed always works the hardest. Suddenly a familiar voice interrupted. You two here? Yinika turned and spoke. Anise, what are you doing here? We're supposed to go to Laplace Bakery today with Clara to celebrate graduation. Yinika is so forgetful sometimes. Today? Really? Anise hurriedly pulled Yinika away. Bye now. Id? Oh, sorry. I'm borrowing Yinika for a bit. We had plans and she totally forgot. He lowered his head, looking disappointed, and replied, Yeah. The two quickly found a bench in the courtyard and began to talk. Yinika, did you make a mistake? Anise sighed and began to explain. Sigh. Yinika, I know you didn't mean any harm. You just like Ed and want what's best for him, right? I checked Ed's scores. Even if you had a perfect theory score, Ed still would have been valedictorian. Yinika replied joyfully, Thank goodness. He really did work hard. Ed really wanted to be valedictorian. Don't you get it? Because of you, Ed couldn't openly become valedictorian. Now everyone will think his title was handed to him by you, even though that's not the case. Exactly. Yinika, you need to understand. Being in a high position doesn't mean being nice is always the right move. She stepped over and sat beside the trembling Yinika. At last, she realized how bad her action had been. Yinika, if you don't trust Ed, what else can you do? Time passed quickly until evening. At his camp, the male lead was reflecting on everything that had happened. I want to be valedictorian because it was necessary for survival. From that perspective, the method of getting there wasn't very important. But this gloomy feeling still wouldn't fade. Perhaps my desire for the valedictorian position was driven by a reason beyond mere survival. The match with Professor Khalid was the same. You only needed to hold out for 10 minutes to get full marks on that exam. And yet I fought tooth and nail to win. Clearly I could have stopped myself. My only goal since arriving here has been survival. But now I'm brooding over something that has nothing to do with survival. You toss a log into the campfire. Oh well, whatever. The semester's over. There's no time for these wandering thoughts anymore. Whether I like it or not, I can only think about how to survive. Now, back to the Rothtaler Manor. Cut to the capital of the Klol Empire. Inside the lavish royal hall, a princess knelt before the emperor and spoke, My liege father, I've heard Fenia will also return from Sylvania. It's a shame I must leave without meeting her. Emperor Klol looked at her and said, I understand you want to see Fenia and catch up after so long, but the Duchy of Rothtaler is a great opportunity for you. Although your father arranged this to separate you and Fenia, the Rothtaler clan is the foremost ducal house on the continent, and a tool anyone aspiring to the throne must learn to control completely. Many powerful nobles attend this tea, but in terms of priority, that family comes first. Lord Crepin and Tanya Rothtaler, the new student who first won the Sylvania Student Council presidency. I heard they even have a son about to be reinstated. Apparently, he was exiled long ago. Probably nothing to worry about. She slowly rose and took her leave. Then I will take my leave. Travel safely, Selaha. The Ice Princess, Selaha, departs for the Rothtaler Manor. Cut to the royal secluded palace at Sylvania Academy. Tanya's voice echoed in the quiet. Wow. Every time I come here, it feels the same. This place really is a whole different world. Big brother. On Aiken Island, the most extravagant building and reddest land is Awfulest Dormitory. But if you count upkeep costs, this palace ranks second. Its area isn't even half that of Awfulest. The guard bowed respectfully to you and Tanya. You have arrived, please come inside. If there's anything special about this place, it's that everything here exists solely to serve the benefit of a single individual. The room opened, and an extremely luxurious scene unfolded. The third princess of the Klol Empire, Penia Elias Klol, stood by the window in the breeze, and turned slightly to look at the two newcomers. You, and Tanya quickly bowed. Your Highness Penia, thank you for taking the time to receive us. Ed got straight to the point without beating around the bush. Princess Penia, the purpose of our visit today is... Before he could finish, the princess interjected. You're seeking my political backing, aren't you, Ed Rothtailor? You who directly pronounced your own exile. Your restoration will be far smoother with my endorsement. You were rather surprised by the princess's bluntness. She certainly went straight to the point. But she was right. In other words, to regain my status, I need her help. Returning to the Rothtailor Manor is truly a risky move. Lucy agreed to come with me, but raw strength alone can't solve everything. Among the nobility, most issues are ultimately decided by power. In that regard, a noble with high status holds sway. If I gain recognition from a princess, no one could easily oppose restoring my rights. The heavier the weight of power, the harder it is to obtain that recognition and to prove you've received. Penia glanced at him and spoke softly. It's coincidental, but it's been quite a while since I sent my regards to the Rothtailor household. Ed Rothtailor, could you convey my greetings to Lord Crepin on my behalf? He looked down at the nearby table in surprise and confusion. Is this a letter? Had she prepared this letter in advance? Princess Penia had always been hostile to the Rothtailor clan, and I had intended to propose a deal where I'd investigate the family's internal secrets. But instead she asks me to deliver a message. A private royal letter cannot be handed to just anyone without delegation. And more importantly, the value of this letter itself carries far greater weight. A letter without a wax seal, indirectly, that expresses absolute trust that the contents won't be altered or tampered with. He looked at the princess and said clearly, I had already prepared for negotiations. Penia looked at him with fondness and gave a slight, satisfied smile. Very well. That means the sender fully trusts the messenger. The conversation quickly wrapped up, and Ed returned to his camp. Departure would be in 2 days. I have completed all preparations to leave the camp for a while. I've cleared out all the makeshift traps in the forest, cleaned them, stored them in the shed, and locked up the tent. That leaves the food issue, right? Aside from long-lasting items, it's best to use up the rest. Suddenly, a familiar voice rang out. Idamid. As soon as he returned to the camp, Yenica was already there cooking a tempting stew. She'd even washed the male lead's pile of clothes. You're back? Look, Belle gave me some rare herbs, so I tossed them into the curry. I tasted it while cooking. It's absolutely delicious. Hey, Yenica, why do you care so much about my reaction? Hearing that made her jump. That. The male lead pondered for a moment and quickly answered, Lately she's been paying overly much attention to me. If I had to find a reason, could it be about yielding the valedictorian spot? Are you worried you were tactless toward me? Yenica panicked and clumsily denied it. No, I didn't yield anything really. She's so predictable. Her expression fell, and her voice grew heavy. Sigh, I once thought I knew you very well, Ed, but sometimes I feel like I don't understand you at all. Then the negative thoughts surfaced. Negative thoughts like, what if you come to hate me? He looked at the poor girl before him and thought inwardly. Sometimes kind and talented people unintentionally become tactless because they worry too much about others. Yenica was no exception. She could be misunderstood that way. That kind of anxiety is its own burden. After all, no one can completely understand another person. But I can say with certainty that no one in this academy knows me better than you do. And even if you're a little tactless, how could I possibly hate you easily? To me, you're very special. Yenica was moved and burst into tears. She stepped forward and grabbed his shirt. Could you try being a little tactless with me once? For example, make a mistake, say something wrong, or ask me to do something. What? Something strenuous and time-consuming is fine. I don't intend to go home this vacation anyway. Ed's face immediately hardened. He spoke slowly. So would you like to help me carry out a task? Okay, just say it. 2 days later, the journey officially began. The Rothtailor domain is located at the heart of the empire, the land with the most strategic position. To enter the imperial capital from the western continental coastal routes, where the bustling cities cluster, you must pass through the Rothtailor territory. This location symbolizes the Rothtailor family's role as the royal guardians, so imperial citizens often call it the capital's shield. On the rolling coach, you were leaning against the window dozing, while Tanya helplessly called to you, Hey, what now? The air here looks terrifying. Can we reach safety in this state? Yenica unleashed a surge of mana. She stared across with murderous intent. There they saw Lucy sleeping soundly with her head on Ed's lap, oblivious to everything. She stepped up and tried with all her might to pull Lucy away, while Lucy stubbornly resisted. Move aside. Sleeping like that is dangerous. No, get away, it's dangerous. Tanya, seeing this, could only curl up in a corner in panic. Why on earth are these two here? Yikes, so scary, I'm going to die of fright. Suddenly the coach hit a rock, and Ed was jolted awake from his sleep. He glanced around the carriage, which was now wide open, chaotic, and bewildering. What are you doing? Time passed, and by evening the group stopped and sat around the campfire. Ah, big brother, you seem very close to those two, don't you? You replied in a low voice. Well, since the start of the term, suddenly Lucy, who has been silent, spoke up. Yenica fell over. The two of them looked at each other with puzzled expressions. What's up? Tone it down a bit. There's a swarm of fays circling around here. Yenica jumped to her feet, surprised. Every day the sprites flock to the grove near Ed's camp. Whenever anything happens, they run to her and excitedly report. That's too blatant. You get detailed reports on Ed's every tiny action, right? Don't you think he might feel like he's being watched day and night? Yenica flusteredly replied. Oh no, that's the sprites acting on their own. I could tell them to stop, but I didn't. She pretends to be innocent, but is actually very cunning. The male lead, chomping on a sweet potato, intervened. It's fine, I don't mind much. Given my position, some security measures are expected. See? The person himself said he doesn't care. But I didn't expect the reports to be so detailed down to every last bit. Yenica froze on the spot. All her arguments seemed to turn to ice at that moment. Lucy continued the assault, pressing close to Yenica's ear and whispering, creepy, dark, clingy. If it were me, I'd be so embarrassed I'd avoid people entirely. Before she could finish, Ed stepped forward and pinched Lucy's ear. Enough, stop it. We're about to set foot in the Roth-Taylor Manor. Now we need to discuss the course of action. In reality, that place is the enemy's den. Never forget that. We came here to search for evidence. Anything that could expose Crapen Roth-Taylor's true ambitions. At first glance, the Roth-Taylor estate has only about 5 or 6 buildings visible. Its scale is far grander than the Awfulest dormitory. This place looks more like a town than a single manor. And here, the clan's authority even overshadows royal power. On this land, members of the Roth-Taylor family rank even above the emperor. The suitcase you handed to the butler slipped from his hands and clattered to the ground. The butler's face immediately drained of color and fear. The entire retinue hurriedly bowed and apologized to you, their voices trembling with each word. Please forgive us, young master. In this domain, the Roth-Taylors are gods. It's been so long since I last witnessed someone of importance that I couldn't contain my excitement. Seeing you return in a halo of victory, your presence was so radiant that this lowly servant made a mistake. Please, I beg your forgiveness. But contrary to your intimidating appearance, you calmly forgave him. It's all right. I'll take this item myself. The butler looked up in utter astonishment, while you paid no mind to such trifles. The group quickly strode into the vast mansion. Welcoming your return was the head of the Roth-Taylor family. He sat on his throne-like chair and smiled. At last you have returned. Come here, let's have a heart-to-heart, Han Huin. From now on, son, to survive, you'll have to overthrow a god.